The top stories tonight in Y News. The Philippine government plans to deploy naval reservists in the West Philippine Sea in response to the increasing presence of the Chinese maritime militia.
The Department of Justice orders panel of prosecutors to file multiple criminal cases against Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. and five other individuals over 2019 murders in the province.
Transport Group seeks fare hike of 2 pesos to the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board amid increasing cost of fuel.
And find out why United States President Joe Biden calls China a ticking time bomb not long after a visit to China by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Friday, the 11th of August, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am William Theo.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harding Delgado.
First in the news, the Department of Foreign Affairs has lowered the alert level in Libya from 4 to 3 amid improvements in the political and security situation in the country. Nel Maribohok reports.
The Department of Foreign Affairs has placed the entire Libya under Crisis Alert Level 3 or Voluntary Repatriation Phase, a downgrade from an earlier status covering its capital amid the country's fragile but improving political and security conditions. Despite lowering the crisis alert level, DFA under Secretary Eduardo De Vega said there would no new deployments to Libya. Filipinos who wish to return to working there should have certification from the Philippine Embassy.
Remember, sa DFA, ang primary concern namin yung protection. Ang DMW sila in charge, among other things, ng deployment. So far, wala pa tayong approved new deployment except yung mga babalik. Yung babalik at saka sinicertify natin.
Yusek De Vega said authorities could not further lower the alert level due to the presence of 2 warring political factions.
Bakit alert level 3? Bakit natin hindi baba pa? Kasi hindi pa completely settled yung political situation. Kasi may 2 factions pa.
As of this moment, there are around 2,300 Filipinos in Libya. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The local government unit of Manila has assured that they will follow the suspension order for all reclamation projects in Manila Bay. In the official statement from the City of Manila, they have confirmed receiving information from the Philippine Reclamation Authority directing the suspension of all reclamation activities in Manila. They have expressed their respect for the President's decision. In a message from Strike Revilla, Mayor of Bacoor City, Cavite, he stated their intent to adhere to the President's directive. As of now, other local governments have not responded to the issue. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has suspended the reclamation projects due to identified issues. All the projects require a thorough study.
The Department of Justice, or DOJ, wants to investigate the killing of a teenager by Navotas City Police due to alleged mistaken identity. Harleen Delgado will tell us why.
Justice Secretary Crispin Boying Rabulla wants to probe the killing of 17-year-old Jimboy Baltazar, who was shot by Navotas cops last week. The secretary says they will look into the standard operating procedures, noting that police protocols during operations should be well defined.
Actually yan, dapat may body cam yan eh. Kung mayroong operation talaga, ang body cam is really mandatory. Marami kasi hindi sumusunod eh. Isa yan sa mga problema natin ngayon talaga. Maraming ayaw mag-body cam, ayaw sumunod. At ito yung mga nakikita ng Korte Suprema na problema rin talaga ng nangyayari sa ating police enforcement.
Remulla adds he will talk to Department of the Interior and Local Government or DILG Secretary Benher Abalos regarding the matter. Meanwhile, Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa wants the Philippine National Police or PNP and its training arm, the National Police Training Institute or NPTI, to revisit its training courses to cops. De la Rosa, who is also a former PNP chief, believes the program of instruction on the police operational procedures should be reevaluated.
Dapat ang PNP ay PNP i-review nila yung curriculum o yung program of instruction patungkol doon sa police operational procedure. Kung paano ito ini-implement during public safety basic recruit course. Dahil basic yan eh. Basic yan. Alam mo may tumalon doon na bata doon sa tubig. Bakit barili mo ang tubig? Di ba?
The senator says he will look into the response first of the PNP before he decides whether or not to open a Senate investigation.
Kasi puro kunting wala, hearing kagad, di ba? Dapat let's give them time na to correct themselves. Kung makita natin na hindi tayo satisfied sa ginagawa nilang corrective efforts, then that's the time siguro na pagpatawag tayo para hindi na maulit ito.
Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Roda Liza Baltazar, the mother of Jemboy Baltazar, who was shot dead by Navotas policemen due to mistaken identity, just returned home from Qatar earlier today, August 11. She expressed desire for justice for her only son.
Ano po sa tingin nila sa anak ko, ano lang po, pusa o aso na binaril lang nila, pinabayaan lang nila doon. Tao po yung anak ko, kasi 17 years old lang po yun, minor de edad.
Meanwhile, the Department of Migrant Workers and the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration have announced their intent to provide financial assistance worth 100,000 pesos, support Roda's repatriation, and cover the funeral and burial expenses for her child.
Tutulong tayo sa kinabukasan ng kanilang anak. And then siya mismo ay dahil nauwi na siya, kinakailangan din ng trabaho. So tutulungan din namin siya sa larangan na yun.
The panel of prosecutors of the Department of Justice or DOJ ordered to file multiple criminal cases against Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. and 5 other individuals. DOJ Secretary Crispin Boying Remulla said there was enough evidence against them. 3 counts of murder will be filed against Teves Jr. and the others for the death of Michael Dungog, a former board member in the province last March 25, 2019. Lester Bato was killed on March 26, 2019, and Pasito Libron was also murdered on the same year. The cases will be filed at the Manila City Regional Trial Court.
There's a lot of evidence that was gathered. Basta yung isa sa mga may alam talaga ng pangyayari ay talaga testigo na itong mga to ang may kinalaman sa pagpatay ng 3 tauhan na binanggit natin.
And for the news abroad, China's economic challenges combined with weak growth make the country a ticking time bomb, according to United States President Joe Biden. The chief executive made the comments not long after a visit to China by U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. Jane Robles will give us the details live. Yes, Jane, good evening.
Good evening, Marvi. China's high unemployment rate and aging workforce are reasons that made United States President Joe Biden to state that China is in trouble. At a political fundraiser in Utah, the president said he did not want to hurt China and was after a rational relationship with the country while voicing his concern that bad folks with problems do bad things, referring to China's workforce problems. Biden's comments came shortly following a visit to China by U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, which was aimed at stabilizing relations between the two countries that were on its lowest point since 1979. There are concerns that China is going into a much slower economic growth with its stagnant consumer prices and wages, in contrast to inflation being recorded around the world. The National Bureau of Statistics of China, or NBS, reports China's Consumer Price Index, or CPI, fell 0.3% in July, the country's first negative inflation reading since 2021 during the second year of the COVID-19 pandemic. Analysts, on the other hand, forecast a 0.4% year-on-year drop in China's CPI, the main measure of inflation. The report is raising worries for European Union business entities who have China as a key trading partner because it points to a weakening Chinese economy. Meanwhile, the United States leader has signed an executive order that stops new investment in China, particularly in sensitive technologies such as computer chips and artificial intelligence, which China sees as a gravely concerning move by the US. China reserves its rights to take measures. Back to you, Marvi.
Thank you, Jane Robles, reporting live. Purchasing 60 Chinook helicopters, Germany increases their national air force security, acquiring the large fleet of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO. Charisse Dongbowen will give us the details live. Yes, Charisse, good evening.
Good evening, Marvi. Previously announced last month by the Chief of the German Air Force, Ingo Gehatz, Germany is now set to purchase and own the second largest Chinook helicopter fleet of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO. Altogether, the package is reportedly worth up to 8 billion euros. The package including purchases of CH-47 heavy-lift helicopters, services, national contracts, and infrastructure. German Air Force Chief Ingo Gehatz stated that the Air Force will greatly benefit from the fleet, with the Schönwald site playing a unique key role for the Air Force and the security of Bundeswehr and Germany. Meanwhile, according to Chief Gehatz, also around 50 of the 60 Chinooks would be kept alongside 1,000 soldiers stationed east of Germany at the Holzdorf and Schönwald site. Back to you, Marvi.
Thank you, Charisse Dongbowen, reporting live. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Marvi. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. Transport groups seek fair hike of 2 pesos to the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board amid increasing cost of fuel through memorandum circular, which allows automatic fare adjustment. JP Nunez will tell us why.
Daliga ng mga transportasyon at operator sa Pilipinas, or LTAP, Piston, Stop and Go Coalition Incorporated, and Federation of Jeepney Operators and Drivers Association of the Philippines, or FEDUDAP, filed a request letter addressed to the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board's chairman, Attorney Chofilo Guadis III, earlier today, August 11. The transport groups are requesting the Regulatory Board to look into the Memorandum Circular 2019-035, which allows LTFRB to automatically impose fare adjustment without public hearings and special proceedings. LTAP National President Orlando Marquez showed to the media the Section 4 of the memorandum, which is their basis for the automatic fare adjustment due to the continuous increase of fuel in the past few weeks.
Ito na po yung tinatawag natin na automatic fare adjustment formula, na pagka nagtaas ng ganitong kalaki ng fuel, kailangan magtaas din kami dahil nga mayroon na pong memorandum circular na aprobado na po ito ng LTFRB noong pang July 21, 2019.
Orlando Marquez also pointed out that with the formula provided on the memorandum circular, the possible fare hike to jeepney will be 2 pesos on top of 12 peso minimum fare. Meanwhile, Stop and Go Coalition National President Zaldi Pingay said they are decided to pursue their fare hike request to the LTFRB despite fuel subsidy will be distributed by the end of August.
Hindi sasapat kasi kung yung dati na 6.5 na fuel subsidy, isang araw lang po yun. Ito kasing pagtataas ng diesel, continuous na tumataas. Isang beses lang naman yung bigayan ng fuel subsidy, hindi naman buwan-buwan o araw-araw.
To other regular commuters, the proposed fare hike will be another burden to their daily budget.
Pag mapapadagdag ng 2 piso sa mga katulad ko pasahero, hindi kami papayag. Siyempre, dagdag sa budget din yun eh.
Hindi yata. Medyo mabigat na yung 2 piso idagdag eh.
Mabigat po. Mahal na nga ng bilihin. Tapos, dagdagan pa ng pamasahe.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
More than 4,300 metric tons of fresh yellow onion already arrived in the country as of August 3, according to the Bureau of Plant Industry, or BPI. This is part of the almost 12,000 metric tons that was issued with phytosanitary import clearance from May to August. BPI said that this will ensure the sufficiency of supply and prevent the price to spike up. The agency is also monitoring the inventory of red onion in the country. They projected to allow the importation of around 34,000 metric tons for 2 months of buffer stock.
So if makita kasi natin na
Part of the government's disaster response, early recovery, and rehabilitation in connection with the effects of Super Typhoon Egay, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, Field Office Cordillera Administrative Region, together with the Cordillera Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council members and the Provincial Local Government Unit, have initiated the Emergency Cash Transfer, or ECT, payout for Mountain Province. Earlier today, August 11, the ECT payout for typhoon-hit residents was launched in Bontoc Mountain Province. The DSWD Field Office, Cordillera staff, and DSWD Mount Province distributed a total of more than 3 million pesos in assistance to 389 target beneficiaries with partially and totally damaged houses across the 9 municipalities of Mountain Province. Beneficiaries with partially damaged houses received 9,000 pesos in cash assistance, while beneficiaries with totally damaged houses received 13,500 pesos. Emergency cash transfer is an adaptive strategy to bridge the gaps in immediate relief, humanitarian response, and early recovery support through the provision of unconditional cash to victims of disasters or situations requiring DSWD interventions.
And in other global news, Hawaiian officials forecast many years and billions of dollars to build the resort town of Lahaina after the Maui wildfires turned vacation into a nightmare, killing at least 53 people. The death toll rose from the initially reported 17 yesterday, labeling the fires as the worst disaster Hawaii has experienced since 1960's deadly tsunami. In a news conference on Thursday, August 10, Hawaii Governor Josh Green estimated as many as 1,000 buildings were damaged, which calls for immediate housing for thousands of residents. United States President Joe Biden has approved a disaster declaration for Hawaii, allowing victims access to federal housing applications and economic recovery grants. The Hawaiian government has so far mapped out a plan to provide shelter to the homeless by utilizing hotels and tourist rental properties. Lahaina draws 2 million tourists annually, equating to 80% of Maui's visitors, and now it is feared some of Lahaina's cultural treasures have been destroyed. Russia launched its first moon landing mission in nearly 5 decades, carrying the Luna 25 spacecraft that blasted from east of Moscow. Mavin Carizo tells us why.
Russia launched its first moon mission in 47 years on Friday, August 11, to be the first nation to make a soft landing on the moon. The Russian lunar mission, the first since 1976, blasted Soyuz 2.1V rocket carrying Luna 25 craft from the east of Moscow at 2:11 a.m. Moscow time, is expected to reach the moon on August 21st and will spend 5 to 7 days orbiting the moon at around 100 kilometers before landing on the lunar south pole. Luna 25 is roughly the size of a small car with a mass of 1.8 tons and carrying 31 kilograms of scientific equipment. It will aim to operate for a year on the moon's south pole, where NASA scientists and space agencies detected traces of water. This moonshot has been planned for decades to also test the nation's independence in space after the 2022 invasion of Ukraine severed nearly all of Moscow's space ties with the West. Russia's space agency aims to show that they are capable to land in the moon where no one else has landed. Mavin Carizo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Marvi Delfin, live from Australia. Good evening.
The Filipino authorities clarified that the interagency or alalayan exercise off Manila Bay earlier today is not a show of force. Dante Amento tells us why.
The National Coast Watch Center, or NCWC, with its support agencies, conducted an interagency exercise called Alalayan 2023 at the Manila Bay earlier today, August 11. The Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, showcased some of its assets, such as the BRP Malapascua, BRP Melchor Aquino, and Chopper. Other agencies, including the Philippine Navy, Philippine National Police Maritime Group, and Bureau of Quarantine, also used their assets during the said activity. But NCWC Director, Coast Guard Vice Admiral Roy Echeverria, said it is not a show of force. The exercise was just a demonstration of how the combined agencies will respond to maritime threats or incidents and test their communication capability.
No, this is not a show of force. This is just an exercise to test our interoperability among the different support agencies of the National Coast Watch Center, and also because the EU actually provided us with a secured common information sharing platform.
From what I've seen, it did run all very smoothly. I mean, it seemed that the agencies were really playing well together. They moved together. They were communicating well. So I think the exercise went quite well.
Echeverria further said the use of water cannon to suppress a fire incident in a foreign ship has no connection over the recent water cannon attack by the Chinese Coast Guard against PCG boat at Ayungin Shoal. The exercise was conceptualized several months ago before the incident in the West Philippine Sea occurred.
Wala naman pong kilalaman yon. But it's always good to be prepared for any eventualities, and we keep training our personnel.
Dante Amento, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Asia's Diamond Soul siren Nina will once again serenade fans with her heartfelt signature songs in dinner concert at the KDR Adventure Camp in Orani, Bataan this Sunday. Gladys Tuwabi reports.
Nina's first successful concert at the KDR Adventure Camp in Orani, Bataan. The Asia's Diamond Soul siren will come back for yet another night to remember. You see, I want want to hear that enchanting voice with the lyrics that even oldies and youngsters can relate to. So don't miss this chance to witness this special dinner concert entitled A KDRAC at Night Presents Nina at the Pavilion of the KDR Adventure Camp in Orani, Bataan, happening this Sunday, August 13, 2023 at 6 p.m. For reservations, you may visit the official social media accounts of the KDR Adventure Camp. Gladys Tuabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 13, it says, I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. And those are the reasons behind the news, August 11, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Harding Delgado.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.